There. So last video I talked about, how to avoid bad house sits. This one I'd like to talk about how to spot a good one. So this one's much more positive, I guess. Um, the first thing to talk about, I guess, is the websites you use. Now, you might find about house sits through friends or acquaintances and things. Some of these things will apply, some won't. But I'm going to talk about how I find house sits, which is mainly using trusted house sitters. I really like them because, and I'll put the link below. It's an affiliate link. It basically gets you guys, I think it gets you guys a month or something free or something like that. I'm not sure, quite frankly. I use them because they vet people ahead of time. You have to have police checks if you use these guys. So that's mega important. So if someone's advertising on trusted house sitters, it means they've spent a bit of money to advertise their sit. If someone's advertising on a website that's free, well, they don't have to put in as much effort. They're not as serious about it. So that's one of the first things I look for. On the site, if the sit advertisement has excellent pictures, they don't have to be, excellent quality. They just have to show that the person has, maybe a good sense of humor or really cares about their pets. So you should have a few different pictures of their pets in different places around the house. The other thing to tell if the people are going to be good house sitting hosts is they'll show you pictures of the bed where you're going to sleep. They'll show you pictures of their kitchen. They'll show you pictures of the living room, and they'll show you pictures of, if they're expecting you to look after a yard or a garden, they'll show you pictures of those too. So that's a big one. The other thing is it's the way they write the advertisement up. If they've bothered to use spelling punctuation, huge plus. If they're describing the location they live in as a place that's inviting you, it's if the sit, for example, is in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and they're talking about, hey, if you come here, you can go explore, you can go up into the Highlands, you could go to Crathis Castle, you could, go see the Tomintoul Standing Stones. They're sort of saying, hey, come look after our two whippets, but also while you're here, why don't you enjoy being here? They'll also talk about, the house in a way that's not a status item, but more for its comfort, comfort value. So you'll get them mentioning, comfy couches, the bed's nice, they really love cooking, so the kitchen's nice. They might be musicians, or they might be artists, or they might, have a hobby, and they'll be inviting you to enjoy that hobby as well. That's always a wonderful sit. I've never had a bad sit when someone's like, hey, I love this thing. Do you want to try it while you're here? That kind of thing's cool. Okay, so they're big ones. When you arrange to talk to them on, and in my last video, I talked about how important it is to initially interact with someone, usually via messenger or email, and then via a video chat where they can give you a tour of the house. It's amazing if they're offering to give you the tour of the house. That's always great. The other thing that's really lovely is if they're interested in you. So when you talk, what you're looking for is a back and forward. They want to meet you, you want to meet them. The whole joy of house sitting is that you get to meet people that you probably wouldn't otherwise meet. I've met just an amazing range of people. I'm a fiction author, so for me, it's just new material all over the place. You meet different people, different personalities. You talk to them, you learn their perspectives, and that helps me grow not only as a person, but it helps my craft as a writer as well. So that's great. But for you, it might just be a chance to make a friend. That could be cool. The other thing that is a great sign, if they're keen to tell you how to navigate the area. So if they're aware of, hey, if you're flying in or driving in, they'll tell you how to get there. They'll tell you how to drive to the shops nearby to stock up, on groceries if you're doing a longer sit. They'll basically explain it like they would to a friend or acquaintance who's coming to visit them. The other thing that's really great if it's going to be a big, a good sit is they'll introduce you to their pets like straight off, and they will visibly love their animals, and they will be upfront and honest about their animals. I love a cat owner who will admit that their cat is a purring little psychopath. You know, it depends on the person. You know, some people don't have as much of a sense of humor, and some people do. But if they actually show that they adore their animals, um, it's wonderful, because it means that you can have a bit of a joke around, and you know, you can get to know them a little bit better. If they're volunteering straight away their animal's medical history, or if their animals have any needs, if they're specific about their animals' routines. Now, the great thing about the website I use, it's one of the reasons I like it, is they request that house owners do a manual up for house sitters. So you will know the animal's routine. You will know, their quirks and all the rest of it. That's really important. What else? Generally, most of the really excellent sits I've ever done haven't been in the grand mansions and haven't been like the spectacular views, but they've been comfortable homes that allow you to go see new places and new things. Now, I'm thinking here, one of the best sits I've done was in Schlieren in Zurich, Switzerland. And it was a commuter suburb. Schlieren, there isn't a huge amount to see there, but it's 10 minutes from the center of town. You can, walk around the suburb. There's a beautiful walk down to the river. The house itself was just a really lovely, warm family home, and the bedroom was a library. That was the coolest thing ever. So that's probably another thing. Shared interests. Do the people you're going to sit for have similar interests to you? Are you similar kinds of people? Oh, and an amazing sign that you're probably going to have a great sit. Do they want to have dinner with you before you start the sit? Are they inviting you to have lunch when they get back? Do they want to actually engage with you as a human being? Are they looking at this whole experience as an experience? Because that's what house sitting should be. It should be a really cool experience. Mutual respect and mutual love of animals in the middle of it, and there's usually always animals. So yeah, and I guess are the main things, because this is about positive stuff. It's you kind of know from the beginning if you're going to have a good time. Clear communicators is another thing as well. If someone's really clear up front and they look like they know what they're talking about, that's really great. Yeah, so this is, like I said, a lot shorter than the last video, but there are things to keep an eye out for. I've had so many amazing house sits with people who I now call friends, who I'm regularly in touch with. I've met, writers, I've met teachers, I've met artists, recording artists, radio DJs, sports commentators. You never know who you're going to meet. And that's the joy of house sitting. If you go into it, with your eyes open and embracing the good stuff. And the other way, you're going to have a great house sit is if the critters are awesome. So if you're on the call and you've got a cat purring all over their human, or you've got a dog that's just really chill, or whatever, that's also mega cool. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much that. I really wish you the best in your house sitting adventures, and I hope you get to pet a whole lot of critters.